The year 2005. I can't believe this is 20 years ago now. First visit of the year was Alton Towers, and here's the programme from that year. 2 new rides for us to try. The first was Rita, Queen of Speed, which is an Intamin accelerator coaster, and a good ride. It's still there today, and it was positioned next to the corkscrew in quite a tight space, really amazing. From this picture you can see how close corkscrew was to the new build of Rita, so it's quite impressive how they managed to fit that in. And they got it in. Here's the park map, very kind of blocky, I suppose, this park map, and pretty basic. The second ride that year we did was in what was Adventureland. It's of course now CBB is all part of that area now, and this was Spinball Whizzer. So that was Alton Towers. Also that evening there was a youth event in the Alton Towers car park, and Super Chick were playing there, one of the great bands of the recent years, and unfortunately they were the first band on for some reason, so we didn't really get to see their set, but we did get to chat with them afterwards and get a signed copy of their CD. Next programme is we went over to Paris, and we went to Euro Disney, Walt Disney Studio. First of all was the main park. Here's the map for that. That's both, okay. That's the main park, and then it's got the studios up there. We'd been went on Space Mountain, which was probably the highlight, and also the new studios park at the time, and they're good rides. In 2006 then came along, and very exciting with Thorpe Park was Stealth, another Intamin accelerator coaster, but this was far more exciting than Rita because it had the height. So similar to Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm that we'd done a few years prior to that. Here's a brochure they did particularly about Stealth, and here's a video about it as well. It certainly seemed to go a lot slower over the top hat back then than it does now. It's still going strong 20 years later. Here's the main Thorpe Park brochure detailing Stealth. Okay. Yeah, this was obviously before Swarm and things like that, so there's nothing in that part, but there's Stealth showing as new, and that was in the space of what was the old world of miniature, I think mini golf or something like that, and obviously way before things like Hyperia and Saw back in the old days of Loggers Leap, if anyone remembers that. Okay, we then went to Legoland that year. Got some nice pictures here, but unfortunately don't have a programme. The first coaster was Dragon, which was a good family ride, and it had a lot of pre-theming. The section was really good, with obviously lots of Lego minifigures, etc. Around before the main ride. Next was Dragon's Apprentice, which was a little bit of a smaller ride, and finally, which was probably the best, was Jungle Coaster, which was actually a Mac Wild Mouse type ride. It only lasted at the park for about 5 years, which is a shame. I think they maybe got rid of it for noise issues perhaps, but interestingly enough, it ended up at Legoland, Florida, and I believe it's still there to this day. And then Flamingoland, 2006, they had a new ride called Kumali, which is a Vekoma SLC, but a new layout that had not been seen anywhere before. I believe there's one other of it elsewhere in the world somewhere. And there is the park map for 2006. Again, obviously, this is pre a lot of other rides such as Sick and stuff like that. But the other ride that they did have there was Velocity, which is the motorbike coaster, which we also went on. Finally, 2006, another major ride for Drayton Manor. First sort of major investment since Shockwave really, which was sort of 12 years prior to that. and this was G-Force. Stayed at the park for a number of years. It's gone now. A lot of people didn't like it, but I thought it was a good ride. It was quite unique and had a very unusual sort of hanging loop. And here is the park map of Drayton. So yeah, all in all, 2005 and 2006, good years.